In this orthokeratology case, we have a patient whose refraction is mostly cylindrical, and it matches quite well with the cornea. And after molding, the patient is experiencing a little bit of overcorrection spherically, so the patient's become hyperopic, and the full amount of cylinder has remained. So the patient isn't seeing very well. In this case, looking at the topographies, we can see that the toricity is distributed quite broadly across the cornea. So this is a case where I would vary the topo demand in the vertical and horizontal meridians. For cases where there's corneal toricity, but it's fairly tight and constrained to within the central few millimeters of the cornea, a spherical zone works quite well, or spherical molding works quite well. But in this case, the the toricity is quite broad, so I would decrease the amount of molding we have in the horizontal meridian and then increase the amount that we have in the vertical meridian. So I do like the overall diameter using. I think that's a good size for a stable lens on this size cornea. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and decrease in 100% mode um, our total power here. So at around a power of 0.5, we're not really going to get much molding, but we really don't need much molding in the horizontal meridian anyway, because the patient's plano in that direction. In 50% mode, now I'm going to adjust the vertical, and we're going to put in about a 2 diopter differential. So our new power here will be about a 2.5. We'll try to speed this up a little bit. Because we're in freeform mode, we do the same thing inferiorly. So now we have a lens where there's almost no molding horizontally and a lot of molding vertically. Next thing I'm going to do is go into 25% mode and just touch up the individual meridians. The oblique meridian should be halfway between 50 and 250, so that should be about 150. We're pretty good right there. Right here, I can probably increase that a little bit, get closer to 50. I'm just going to touch these up. And that's looking pretty good. So you can see the back surface, there's a lot of toricity on the back surface now, and we'll get much more molding in this direction where the cornea is a little bit steeper. And then the final thing I'm going to do is back in 50% mode, I'm going to get the back edge of the optic or the reverse curve to really bear down the cornea and make sure we get good seal off. So in this meridian, I'm actually going to increase the edge lift a little bit so that it doesn't prevent the back edge of the reverse curve from bearing down more. You'll notice it gives the appearance of increasing central clearance, but most of the time when you do this, you'll see that you don't get a whole lot of extra central clearance. It's just the mid-periphery of the lens that's coming down to the cornea a little bit sooner. I'm going to do the same thing in the inferior meridian. Again, now you have a lens that looks like you've got way too much central clearance, but I usually have not found that to be a problem. We just want the back edge of the zone to really make contact with the cornea and seal well above and below. So now we have a lens with what we would call a spherical optic zone, but a toric demand, and that should help alleviate some of the overcorrection spherically, and then take care of the residual cylinder that's there. The same changes can be duplicated to the left eye. Hopefully this gets your patient seeing a little bit better. Oh, there was a comment that patient doesn't wear the lenses for too long at once, sleeping for about 4 hours at a time. So in that case, I may want to just increase total power in 100% mode. Maybe a quarter diopter or so, just so we get some more aggressive molding. And if the patient comes out a little bit undercorrected for what we would expect for this lens, then that might be our target since the patient isn't wearing the lens for that long. So hopefully this is helpful. Best of luck, and thanks for watching.